So good to see you guys back again. So remember on the last video that I was telling you about the cheat sheet that I use at my teacher table that tells the different steps of the writing process, and it tells the number of templates that the kiddos go to the shelf and they find. So all I do is I have this laminated next to my teacher table. And this is in the resource that I'm going to share with you for free. And so if I notice that they need page 1, I'll just say, go get page 1. And it's the brainstorming page. If I notice they need page 15 for complement page, I'll just tell them to go get the number. And it's really easy. It'll be easy for them. They don't even have to read anything on the pages. They just have to read the numbers and grab me the page. So every time they add a new page to their story, I staple it together and I put a date stamp at the top. And in a little bit, whenever I show you my writing folder video, then I'm going to share you're going to see the date stamp at the top of the folder. Okay, and how I do that. So I would have some kind of a cheat sheet there with you so you know exactly what pages that the kiddos need. So this is an example of one of my writing folders. So on the left side is the work in progress. So everything that they're still working on, they leave on the left side. And the right side is where they put their published work. So you can mark these with colored dot stickers if you want to, the green on the left and the red on the right side. And the brads in the middle, they have a genre page. So this genre page is really special because it keeps track of how many different genres the students have written throughout the whole year. Okay, so let's say that they just finished writing a fairy tale. Then I'll say, okay, bring me your folder. We're going to talk about our new genre. And so you can have a conversation with each student, and you can scaffold your conversation depending on what they're going to be writing about next. And so if you notice the student is really, really bright and they love to do research, let's say they want to research about sharks, and you can kind of guide them into their next story. You know, I really noticed that you really love to talk about sharks all the time. Why don't you do a research book about sharks? Or why don't you research about space? You know, kind of give them some choices, some guidelines, you know, to where you want them to go. So the high flyers really need that challenge. And they're going to dive right into that. And they're going to love to do research. They could write a chapter book about sharks, and they could have different chapters. Like chapter 1 could be about the shark habitats. Chapter 2 could be about the shark's diet. Chapter 3 could be about different kinds of sharks. Chapter 4 can be about how do we save the sharks from endangerment. I mean, the possibilities are endless. So you can kind of guide them. For resources for researching, I give them a mentor text that they can read. And they keep that mentor text in their folder. So whenever I hand out their folders, they already have the book in there they can read to do their research. And we talk about, you know, not copying word for word. We have a whole big mini lesson about how it's not right to copy word for word. And like real authors don't do that. And they put everything in their own words and their own style of writing. And anyway, so we talk about that. And then if they want to research online, I love to use PebbleGo. PebbleGo is so easy, user-friendly for the kiddos. And so they'll get their iPad and they'll find a comfy spot in the room. And while everybody else is writing, they're going to be on the iPad doing research. And they can make facts. They can write down facts. They can read. They can start their brainstorming page, whatever they need to do to start their research. And they love doing that. Oh my gosh, they really do. So you can kind of like guide the students, you know, of what kind of genre that you would like for them to write, depending on their writing ability. Okay? So we're going to watch a video of how I organize my writing folders. Whoops. Let's go back real quick here. Hey guys, this is Kara, and today I'm going to talk to you about how I organize my Writer's Workshop folders. And I keep my folders in a black bucket that is underneath my author's chair right here. because I told the children that they should not have them in their supplies, because when authors write, they need to have their story in a safe place where it doesn't get broken, it doesn't get torn, doesn't get messed up. So I keep all my Writer's Workshop folders for the whole class in this black tub to keep it nice and safe. So inside the folder, of course, it has the Writer's Workshop label on the front. You will see that I have a genre chart. And on the genre chart, it has all the different genres that we have, that the children have written for the year. And they get to color it in every time they write a new genre. And they can't write the same genre twice. So this is how I keep track of the different stories that they write. On the back page right here, and the back pocket, we have all the stories that the students have already published. So as you can see, this student has already published at least 5 or 6 stories that are in the back here. So those are the works that have already been finished. And on this side of the pocket are the works that are in work in progress. So anything that she's still working on that has not been finished is on this side. So I'm just going to walk you through a little bit of what she's doing right here. She is about to publish her fairy tale, which is the Snow Queen. And so she's working on her cover page. She still has to work on her title page, dedication page. And what she did was she wrote one sentence for every page with a picture and then the page number. So she retold the Snow Queen in her own words. She did a very good job. She used lots of details. And then in the very, very back, she has an author page. They write about themselves, and they write about how old they are, what grade they are in, what school they go to, where they live, their favorite food, their favorite book, and their passion. Oh, and she said, my passion is Mrs. Rickman. That's so sweet. And then at the back page is a compliment page. So whenever at the fairy tale ball, at the end of the year, all the parents and relatives, they get to write her a compliment here. And then I will write her one as well. So the work in progress stays here in the front of the pocket. Genre page is in the middle to keep track of their genres. And then the finished products are on the back of the pocket right here. So again, I tell them that they have to keep their folders in this black bucket to keep them nice and safe and out of the way from all the other supplies so they don't get broken or torn. Okay? All right. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye. All right. So hopefully that will give you a better idea of how I organize my folders. So we're going to move on to the next video. Is going to be about how I have the kids move down their sticks so I can tell what part of the writing process they're on. So this is my poster. And you see those pencils that say brainstorming first draft, student conference. Well, there is a resource that I posted in Google Classroom that has these pencils on it. So you can print these and make your own poster. How good is that? So the students each have a popsicle stick with their magic number. And they move according to what step of the writing process they are on. Before they leave the carpet with their folder, they have to tell me which step they're on. This gives them accountability to their own learning. I have a chart that I use for my class, and I write down their steps daily. If I notice that they're on the same step for days and days, I tell them to move on, ready or not. Okay? Now, in the video, you're going to notice that there's a little boy that decided he wanted to stop his book, his story, and he wanted to start over on brainstorming. That's okay. They can do that. I tell them, if you get to a point where you lose interest in the story that you're doing and you want to put it on hold for a little while and you want to start a new story, because when I'm teaching my mini lessons, I may inspire them to start a new story and write something new. Okay? If I'm starting a unit on nonfiction and they really, really want to write something about research, they can start over on brainstorming anytime. Anytime is fine, okay? But remember, this is self-paced and it's their choice of what genre or story they want to do, okay? So you're going to notice that he tells me before he sits down that he wants to go back to brainstorming, and that's fine, okay? So you're going to notice my kiddos, whenever I call on them, they always say thank you. And I teach them at the very, very beginning of the year. They say thank you every time I call on them because I want them to show that they are being respectful and it really helps them with lots of great manners that they need for life. Okay, so I hope you enjoy this video. Okay, Melody.
Thank you and first draft.
Can you point to your stick for me? Great. Wyatt?
Thank you and final draft.
Can you point to your stick? Okay, Cheyenne?
Thank you and final draft.
Careful. And Gwyneth?
Thank you and brainstorming.
Good. Madison's not here. Chase?
Thank you and first draft.
Okay. Mallory?
Thank you and first draft. Oops.
Okay. Stevie?
Thank you and proofreading.
Okay. Good. And Brooks is not here. And Max?
Thank you and I'm going back to brainstorming instead.
You're going to go back to brainstorming? Okay, you're going to move your stick up? Okay. You know what you're going to write about?
Yeah.
Okay, Michael?
Thank you and proofreading.
Very good. Riley? Student conference? You say it? Okay. And Kai? Touch your stick for me. Okay. And Joseph?
Thank you and final draft.
Where's your stick? Great job. Okay, you push the right button. All right. So I love that video. It really shows how the students can say those words: proofreading, final draft, editing, and revision. And it's amazing that first graders can say those big words, but they sure can. If you teach them right away about those words, they know exactly what they are. All right, moving on to my dictionary. So this is another resource that you're going to get for free in the Google Classroom resources. I make my students a dictionary, and this is copied 2 to 2 sided. So one side, if you notice, it has blank lines for the teacher to write words on. The other side has a lot of kindergarten, first grade, second grade sight words that I have picked out to have on the pages for the kiddos to look up words they need for their stories. So they can color it, they can decorate it however they want to. You can have a whole mini lesson at the beginning of the year just about how to use your dictionary. So I have an anchor chart that I use. So what is a dictionary? Because some students don't even have a clue what a dictionary is. And I tell them, this dictionary is going to be your best friend all year. Oh my goodness. And you're going to use it every single day. And you're going to be able to use it with no problem once you get used to it. It's like, brushing your teeth. It's just like one other thing to do during the day. It's very easy. So what happens is they raise their hand and I call on them to my table. If they need a word spelled, they already have the page open. Let's say they want to spell the word horse. Well, they don't just hand me their dictionary and they say, hey, Miss Rickman, can you spell horse? No, they have to find the page. So this really teaches them the alphabetical order very quickly. So they have to find the letter, they open up to the page, and then they ask me, can you please spell horse? So if the word is already there on the page, as you can see, horse is already there, I circle it for them. If the word is not there, I turn the page over to the blank lines, and then I write the word in there for them. In the back of the dictionary, I also have pages for family words, color words, animal words, holiday words, and number words. Okay? Oh, and also there's a page for their friends. If they want to write their friends' names, especially at the beginning of the year, they all want to know how to spell each other's names. So they use a lot of their friends' names in their stories. And so that's also an additional page in the back of the dictionary. So they keep this dictionary in their writing folder. Okay? So what I do is I have one of my parents make the dictionaries for me at the beginning of the year. So when you print this out, it's going to be, there's going to be 2 different pages. Like the letter H is going to be 2 up and down, 2 sides up and down. So you're just going to have to cut them in half and then staple them. Okay. And in the resource, it'll tell you more directions about how to make it. But I feel like that students need to have a dictionary. And there's actually a TEK that says the students will learn about alphabetical order. They will learn about how to use a dictionary as a writing resource during writing time. So I really think it's important for them to be able to use their dictionary. Okay? All right, so this is the end of the first video. There's